DreAllDay.com.
You are now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. What is that, Dre? That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of wait for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques, all underneath the umbrella of one unified philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is, we are picking up on part 2 of what will be our 3-part series on the biggest lies you have been told when it comes to personal development. 2 things before we start. Daily motivation, Monday motivation messages. As soon as we start sending those again, you'll be getting them straight to your phone. Text me at my number 305-384-6894. For a message that's guaranteed to have you focus, sharp, and on point to start your day or your week. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. You want to have me as your direct coach. You want to get access to all of the trainings, coaches, frameworks, and programs that we have in the university. You can get those as a member of the university. All you got to do is go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. You can see more about what we're doing, who we work with, who we serve, how we've helped them, and how you are next. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. That link down below in the description to this video. With that out the way, let's pick it up where we left off yesterday, which is again picking up on part 2 of what is going to be our 4-part series on the biggest lies that you have been told about personal development. Point number 4: success is all about mindset. This is not true, even though I'm a huge advocate of the value of mindset, and I will never tell you that mindset does not matter. That's not the same as success being all about mindset. Those are 2 different things, so please do not get those confused. All right, this is a lie by omission. By saying that success is all about mindset is a lie of omission. Mindset absolutely is an element of success, just as hard work is an element of success, but neither of them alone is the key to success. Success is the pursuit of a worthy ideal. That's how you define success. So you also need that ideal, also known as a goal or an outcome or a target, in order to be successful. So just having the mindset is not enough. Then you got to be in the right places with the right structure, the right disciplines, the right performance, and you got to produce the right results for the right people in order to be successful. You need all of those things in place to be a success if you're aiming for any type of success that is measurable. All of these elements create success, similar to how you need all the elements of a recipe to bake a cake. You can't just take a piece of it that is comfortable for you or convenient for you and say, well, okay, I got enough to bake the cake. You can't just have an oven and then say, okay, where's my cake? Well, you didn't put anything in the cake. You didn't put any of the other ingredients in it. If you just turn the oven on and preheat it to 400 degrees and then let it go for an hour, does not mean that the cake is going to magically pop out because you didn't do any of the other pieces. That's what happens when you have mindset alone or positive thinking alone, and then you're wondering why you're not getting the result that you want because you don't have any other elements involved. So you can't take one piece and say you're going to make it happen. All right, mindset, as I would say, is a basis point for success. It is the foundation. But with just mindset alone and nothing else, you are not going to be successful. All right, you need more than just mindset by itself. Again, if you're baking a cake, you can't just have eggs or just vanilla extract or just a baking pan or just a blender and then say, okay, well, where's my cake? You need all the pieces. You got to use all of them in the right way, in the right order, and in the right amounts in order to get the outcome. If you mess any piece of it up, then you might mess up the entire process of baking the cake. It's the same thing when it comes to success. So when it comes to success, you must have a strong mindset. Mindset is the foundation. The same way that if you were building a high-rise building, if you just build the foundation and you use the pile driver tool to drive columns down into the earth so that the building doesn't fall over when it's built, but you don't do the rest of the building, you don't build first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor, all you have is a foundation, well, then your building will be eternally a construction site because the construction will never get done because you didn't do the rest of the building. You only did the foundation. Foundation matters, but you got to build something on the foundation. That's the reason why you have a foundation, so something can be built upon it, not just to have it and say that you have it. Point number 5. Today's topic, once again, are the biggest lies that you've been told about personal development. Number 5, everyone has unlimited potential. False. Everyone does not have unlimited potential. Again, this rhymes with, in terms of lies, with this point about everybody can be anything that they want to be. This is simply not true. You don't have unlimited potential because not everyone has. For you to have unlimited potential, here's what you would need to have. You need unlimited skills, unlimited leanings, meaning you have some attributes that lean towards a certain thing. You need to be unlimited at that. You need unlimited abilities, and you would need unlimited talent. had to be unlimited in all of these things, and time. Let's not forget about that too, because to maximize yourself in all these areas, you would need a whole lot of time to try them all out. What I do agree with is many people have not tapped into the full limits of their personal potential. Now, when it comes to the limit of your personal potential, I think most people have not experience the full limit of their potential. I think every person, I even think myself, I have not experienced the full limit of my potential. At least I hope I haven't. I hope there is more potential within me than what I've done up to this point and as far as I've gone up to this point. And I would assume it's true about you as well. But that doesn't mean that I have the potential to do anything and go to any place and just create success there just because I decided that I would, or because I even have the attributes or I have it in me to do so. I probably am not going to become a professional tennis player, no matter how hard I work, how many trainers I hire, how much time I spend on the court doing my thing on the tennis court or any other sport for that matter. What I do agree with, again, is people haven't tapped into their own potential. Again, even if that potential has a limit, you haven't scratched the surface of that limit. So if the limit of your potential is a 97, you might only be at a 42 right now. So you got a long way to go just to get out of your own potential, let alone the potential of anyone else or anything else that you could be doing. Now, there's a reason why this is true, what I just said, because most people are lazy. I already told you that. Most people don't think, they don't read, and they're lazy. Most people do not put enough effort behind finding out how good they can actually be at anything, and or they don't have the right insights, i.e. you're not asking the right questions about how you even find it out. See, some people hear that point when I say most people are lazy and they just figure, okay, let me just triple down on effort so that doesn't apply to me. Well, the problem is if you're tripling down on efforts that are not taking you in the right place, doesn't matter how hard you work. See, this is the reason why having fresh eyes and having other people around you who can see things that you can't see matters. Because if you're putting in a whole bunch of effort, again, at the wrong thing, it doesn't matter if you're putting effort in. So most people are not just physically lazy, which is just not willing to do the work, but many people are also mentally lazy, which is, okay, I'm just going to not think insightfully or get any insight about what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep doing whatever I've been doing, and hopefully that works. Most people do not put enough effort behind finding out how good they can actually be at a specific thing. And this is the reason why many people never maximize out on their potential, because you don't stay at anything long enough to go as deep as you can. Which leads me to another point, that many people just are not disciplined. Just that many people just don't have the discipline to stick to anything. Many people do not stick to anything long enough to find out just how much potential they have or had in that particular thing. I can't tell you how many people I've known over the years, and sports is one thing. Sports and entertainment is a tricky space to use here, but I'm going to use it because that's where I come from. I come from the sports world, and I know a lot of people in the sports or entertainment spaces. And I've talked to so many people who are adults, let's say over the age of 25, and they'll say something like, man, I had an opportunity to have maybe been something as an athlete or entertainer, but I didn't take the opportunity. I had an opportunity, but I didn't go to the audition, or I didn't keep trying to play that sport, or I never took my chances when I was younger to go and do that thing. And now here they are, 35, 47, 52, and it's too late to them. And often tangibly, it is too late for them to go and find out what could have been in that particular place. This does happen with a lot of people, but this is not just limited to the sports and entertainment space. I'm just using that because I hear it a lot. Because many people, I mean, sports and entertainment is like a dream job, and it is a dream job. I've had that job, and it's probably the best job you can have compared to other stuff that gets done or the stuff that I do today. Being an athlete is still a dream job compared to the work that I do today. Much easier. And it also applies in other spaces. Let's say like entrepreneurship. There are people who don't go as far as they could go as entrepreneurs. People who don't go as far as they can go when it comes to writing their books or launching their courses or having their coaching programs or whatever it is that they want to do. A lot of people don't go as far as they could. They don't ever scratch the surface of getting to the ceiling of their potential because people simply do not stay on anything long enough. They don't have the right mindset around what they're doing, and nor do they have the right mechanics, the right strategies or systems for how they are doing it. And one of the main reasons this happens is because people try to do everything off their own resources. Your own resources being your own time, your own attention, your own energy, and your own knowledge. Most people are not unlimited in these things. So if you try to do everything based off these, you're going to reach your personal limits. Doesn't mean you reached your full limit, because you can go a lot further if you were to use other people's resources. Use your personal limits and time in terms of how much time you can give, how much knowledge you have, how much intelligence you have, and as much insight you can come up with. Doesn't mean that's all that there is. It's as much as you have, which means you need to go to outside resources to get more out of the situation that you have at hand. But since most people never do that, most people get to a certain point in the things that they do and they think, well, this is as far as I can go. That's not true. This is not true. When I was an athlete, had I had a trainer or a physical, like a performance coach with me from the time I started playing at age 14 up through my college years, I probably would have been a better player. I was lucky in that I was able to slip through the cracks, if you will, and make it as a professional athlete, despite the fact that 95% of what I did as an athlete was stuff that I taught myself and did on my own volition. But had I had another set of eyes around me, at least one, maybe two, maybe three around me, I think I would have been a lot better of a player. And a lot of people don't go as far as they can go in any aspect of life, whether we're talking your professional career as an athlete, an entrepreneur, or anything else, simply because many people don't get access, or they don't try to access, not that they can't, they just don't try to access resources outside of themselves. And then they wonder why I'm only going but so far. Well, there's only so far you can take you. Good news is we're in a world with billions of people. So you should be tapping into other people instead of trying to do everything on your own. Doing everything on your own, folks, is the slowest way to get anything done. And this is a discipline. It is a discipline to understand that there's only so far you can go off of your own energy, but other people can help you go a lot further. So you got to stick to something long enough to find out how much potential you have and get other people on board so that you can get everything out of what is in front of you. It doesn't mean it has to all come from you. So it's kind of is true that people do have unlimited potential relative to how much of it they have realized. Compared to how much you've taken up so far and how much is left, it's damn near unlimited. But it doesn't mean you're unlimited to do pretty much everything. All right, so literally, it's at the same time, it's not true, even though colloquially it is true. Point number 6. We're talking here today about the biggest lies you've been told about personal development. Number 6, fix your weaknesses. Now, I'm not telling you that fixing your weaknesses is necessarily a bad idea, but fixing your weaknesses is what I call a lie by misdirected focus. Because if you focus on fixing your weaknesses, then that means you're putting your focus on something that does not have the potential to push you anywhere close to your personal potential, just working on your weaknesses. So it's not that fixing weaknesses, again, is a bad idea. It's that fixing your weaknesses is a misallocation of your limited resources. The misallocation of the resources, because if the goal is for you to be as successful as possible, the aspect of your life that has the most potential to help you do that is focusing on your strengths, not focusing on fixing your weaknesses. You want to maximize your success, you should focus on emphasizing your strengths completely out of proportion, because they are much more likely to take you to the heights of your potential than fixing your weaknesses will take you to the heights of your potential. Fixing your weaknesses will not raise your ceiling. It will raise your floor, but it will not raise your ceiling. You want to raise your ceiling and get closer to the heights of that ceiling, you have to use your strengths. You got to use what you're already good at. And again, it's not that fixing your weaknesses should be completely ignored. No. Raising your floor is a form of raising your standards, which is a good idea. That can involve fixing areas of weakness that may be holding you back and keeping your floor too low, metaphorically speaking. At the same time, when we talk about you being the best that you can possibly be, that will be a reflection of the strengths and what they do for you, not, of what your weaknesses are, nor what they can do for you. Your weaknesses may just be getting in the way of your strengths, and that's the reason why you would fix them, but you're not fixing them because they are fixing to do your heavy lifting. Your weaknesses are never going to do your heavy lifting because they are weaknesses for a reason. Usually it's because we don't have an aptitude for that thing. Maybe we just have a natural weakness in that area, and or we don't want to do any type of work in that area, and therefore that area becomes a weakness, or it starts to show itself as a weakness. There's a reason for that, because every human being has weaknesses, but we also all have strengths. Your strengths are the things that get you in the door and they get you moving up into next levels. Your weaknesses will never do that, no matter how much you work on them. Those are things in which you are mediocre, which you are never going to be professional level, and you shouldn't even try to be. You shouldn't try to be, because those are not your thing. Now, you want to make sure you make proper judgments here, make sure you're using accurate assessments here, because you may have a latent talent that you are seeing right now as a weakness because of the way that you're looking at it. This is, again, the reason why you want to have fresh eyes on yourself and what you do, so that you are not making miscalculations and errors in judgment as far as what you can do, what you shouldn't do, what you could do, and what you are doing. And again, you may not be able to see these things because as a human being, we all have blind spots, especially when it comes to ourselves. And as the saying goes, it's very hard to see yourself in the mirror. Let's recap today's class, which is part two of our three-part mini series of the biggest lies you've been told about personal development. Number four, success is all about mindset. Now, this is a lie by omission. Mindset is absolutely an element of success, just as hard work is an element of success, but that is not the whole process. You need a whole bunch of other pieces in place in order to be successful. Mindset is a piece, it's a element of the recipe. It is not the full recipe. Number five, everyone has unlimited potential. This rhymes with this idea, this lie about anybody can be anything that they want to be. This is not true. Not everyone has unlimited potential. Actually, no one has unlimited potential. But relatively speaking, if you look at how much of your own potential you have identified and how much there is left that has yet to be touched, that is damn near unlimited. It's infinite, if you understand what I'm saying. So there is a way that you have unlimited potential, but not the way that most people talk about it. Number six, fix your weaknesses. All right, this is a lie by misdirected focus, because if you are going to be the best version of yourself, the best thing you can do is focus on your strengths and overemphasizing the value of those strengths and squeezing all the juice you can out of them rather than focusing on your weaknesses. Now, doesn't mean your weaknesses should be completely ignored, but they are not going to get you to the height of your heights. What they do is raise your floor, but they do not raise your ceiling. You want to raise your ceiling, you got to use your strengths, the things you have natural aptitude at. And usually at this point, let's say by the time you become an adult, you probably already have some tangible results that show why you should be doing that thing, or some tangible leanings, some attributes, some interests in a thing. That's something to move you in a certain direction. But don't work on raising your weaknesses, work on raising your ceiling. All that said, folks, tomorrow we'll get into part three of this mini series. Again, the topic is the biggest lies you've been told about personal development. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. You want to work with me directly, not only on your personal development, but also your professional development, building your business, building yourself up, building your career up, having me as your direct coach all through that process. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre, all